In this episode, we're going to be finding out how to get an 1,000-mile range battery, just what's going on with EV battery fires, and what technologies we should be pinning our hopes on for those super energy-dense batteries. We're here at a top-secret studio somewhere in Germany to show you something which many of our viewers may deem slightly controversial. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fully Charged Show podcast. Today, we're talking sodium solid-state lithium-free batteries.
You might be wondering, what is this trendy place in which we find ourselves? Dastardly dealership, this is most certainly not. No, this is Rivian's latest experiential retail place here in the heart of New York in the meatpacking district. And it's serving up a tantalising taste of adventure to perusing city dwellers. And Rivian, they think it might be the answer.
Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about wireless, extraterrestrial, renewable energy. And if you're thinking this all sounds rather like science fiction, that's because it literally came from science fiction. We are here at the Geneva Motor Show to see the hotly anticipated Renault 5 E-Tech, which is heading up the superstar league of much more affordable electric vehicles.
When it comes to our homes, we kind of know what we need to do to decarbonise them. Insulate them to make them more efficient, power them with solar, heat them with a heat pump. Kind of straightforward, at least from a technology perspective. But when it comes to industrial processes like making paper, chemicals, food processing, beer brewing, basically anything around you, that's where things get a little bit more complicated.
But when does stimulating and supporting a domestic automotive industry tip over into protectionism? How will that change the dynamics of the automotive industry as we know it today? Who stands to benefit, and what's the right response? Now, why have those two organisations come together, and does that seem like an obvious partnership? Well, with WAE's history steeped in motorsport, where there are extreme conditions, rapid development times, extremely complex engineering challenges, they've been able to apply those principles to a range of everyday complex engineering challenges. They'll chop your energy bills in half, balance the grid, and make it greener. Sounds like my kind of guy. Or rather, my kind of 300 kilowatt hour intelligent battery.
I could not give you a good reason why, but I have always wanted to do this.
Now, Silent Yachts have developed the world's first commercially available solar-powered yacht. And we're even travelling there on this e-tender, affectionately known as the Rubber Duck, which has been charged by the solar panels. We've come into the battery build facility where they are busy assembling cells into modules, which then go into packs. And it's so cool because they're pretty cell agnostic. They can use pouch, prismatic, cylindrical, depending on the application. And they do so many different types of batteries, right through from Gen 3 Formula E cars, all the way to this, which is what we're really here to see, because that is one of the big batteries that goes in the electric mining truck. And here, in this 250,000 square foot facility, they can make 1,100 upcycled electric trucks per year. And the reason they can is because the process is pretty straightforward, really. It's an 11-tact process, which means there's 11 really key steps in the dance.
But let's be frank, there are some much more important stakeholders with some much more important opinions than my own. They're the ultimate backseat driver, so we thought it was time to hand over the reins to the real decision makers. So what will it be? The talk, the torch, the tunnel, the tank turn? Let's see what matters most to the generation that matters most.
I am actually a little bit nervous. I didn't think I would be.
One of the things that's so difficult to convey is the contrast between standing here with this massive array which is spreading out, feeling like some sort of sci-fi dream scene, and here, back on land where it's barely even perceptible.
And in theory, if we cover just 0.3% of the world's land with solar power, that would be enough to power the world. We now have decades more experience and some really complicated flow simulations to properly understand what's happening in the world of aerodynamics. It's good to ask questions in order to hold supply chains to account and make sure that our clean energy transition technologies have as little impact on the environment and communities that surround them. No question, UK homes are going green, and in fact last year surpassed every other year on record for the number of low carbon energy and heating solutions. But what's left to say? Well, I think this is a real remarkable feat of engineering, and it's not just going to be class leading for an EV, it's going to be class leading. Once again, Fully Charged is really pulling out all the fashion stops.
Any motivational speech will tell you Amazing things happen when we push ourselves, when we establish new boundaries and show what was considered to be impossible to be possible.